Hi, I'm John Gilstrap, the award-winning New York Times bestselling author of about 30 novels over the course of the last 30 years, and I am back with a writer's view of writing and publishing. It's been a while. Today we're going to talk about setting your priorities. I am long on the record telling people that there are no rules whatsoever in this writing game. I'm kind of in the minority. If you look at the internet or march through the morass of the internet, you will find people telling you that there are all kinds of rules. You have to write every day, they will say. You have to get an agent. Or you will find out that agents are a waste of time and they're only going to steal your money. They'll tell you that you have to attend conferences. You'll learn that conferences are a total waste of time. You'll find that you never start with a prologue, and then you'll learn that prologues are perfectly fine. You'll find that you should edit as you go every day. Then you'll also find that you must put your manuscript away in a drawer for a couple of weeks before you go back and you edit. It goes on and on and on. There's so much contradictory rule making that's out there, and quite honestly, it's all horse hockey. You need to turn this stuff off. You need to turn the internet off if you're going to succeed in this writing business. Not this channel, of course, but all of the other channels. Just stop listening to the advice that you're going to get. There is a survival skill about how to get through the noise, how to center yourself if you're going to make a success and plow through in getting through your first novel and getting from the beginning to the end. And the real trick to all of this, quite honestly, the first step is to establish, set, and live by a set of priorities for yourself. Let's start with this whole business that you have to write every day. As a practical matter, you can't do that. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I don't do that. I don't write for days at a time. Now, there are other writers that would say that that's madness. What works for me doesn't necessarily work for you, doesn't necessarily work for everybody else. I've had a lot of success in this business, but that doesn't mean that what I do works for other people. So when it comes to setting priorities, for me, I'm going to talk about what works for me, not necessarily what works for you. The first priority for me always and forever is family. Number one, hard stop is family. Now we can put God and country up there right on that same tier, but in all honesty, family is the number one. So when I was first starting out in this, and I probably wrote 15 of my books while I was working full time, which then they were high pressure, high powered jobs. I was traveling a lot and writing 100,000 word books every year. So through all of that, I never missed a soccer game. I never missed a cello concert. I was home for every Halloween to walk around the neighborhood picking up candy and stuff. So, if you put family first, then everything else kind of follows. The second priority was my job because I had to pay the bills. See, number one, right? I mean, if family is first, you got to make sure that your family is comfortable and able to get through. So you've got to be devoted to your job. Notice I haven't gotten to writing yet, right? Because I wasn't, certainly at the beginning, because I had no stakes in the game. Let's talk about this. How can writing, if you haven't sold a first book yet, if you don't have a contract, how can writing possibly be your first priority? I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all, right? So you want to do a good job you want to do a good job for your boss, or if you own your own company, you certainly want to make sure that you do a good job for your employees. You got people that are depending on you. For me, quite honestly, it helped that I did not have a writing job. I think that it would be more difficult to spend all day, as an editor or as a reporter or something like that, where you spend 8 hours a day writing for somebody else and then come home and then try to write on your own. I never had to do that. I was a safety engineer, so I would go and do technical stuff and then come home and write in my spare time. Third priority should always be health. Now, I wasn't always all that great on that. But you want to make sure that, again, see family. You want to be around, right? So you don't want to neglect the important parts of your own self. So once you have this set of priorities about who you are and what you're willing not to sacrifice for this dream of becoming a writer, I think the process of becoming a writer somehow becomes easier, if this makes sense, which brings us to the next point, and that is be true to your own creative sensibilities. And this can be hard. We all, if you pay too close attention to things, to what's floating around out there, you start to chase what other people are doing. You start seeing what's popular, and if never put yourself in a position. This is my advice, right? I just said never, as if there's a rule. There are no rules. I advise you never put yourself in a position where you're crossing a line that you're not comfortable with in terms of storytelling. There are lines that I won't cross. In 30 novels, how many millions of words that is in print, I don't do sex scenes. I don't do sexual violence. I don't do gore porn. I have violence. I write thrillers, but I don't cross that line of really disgusting slasher film kinds of things. It's just not my thing. There are other authors who do that, and that's great. It's let them do what they do. As a creative person, you need to do you. You need to find you and be true to that, and close out those voices. I'll talk about all these points that I've made in future videos, but try to tune out the noise of what other people are telling you about what your creative vision should be. This is part of the problems with writers groups. When you get together at the local library and you hammer each other's pieces. Again, I'll talk about this in a future video. In closing, I just want you to remember that everybody who's ever written a first novel, and that's really who I'm talking to here, people who are trying to figure out how to get that first novel out. Everybody who's ever written a first novel figured out a way to get it done. Here's the first thing to remember. Everybody's got the same 24 hours allotted to them every day. It's all about how you choose to take care of it. Family first, right? Make sure that you get your work done. Make sure that you do whatever it is you need to do for your health. If you're a religious person, take care of that side of your life. And then in what time is left, then you go and you take care of this dream of becoming a writer. It's the same thing you would do for your dream of becoming a musician, right? If you take care of the important part, then you have the freedom to grow in the creative part. But something's got to give, right? Whether it's sleep or anything else, I just really recommend that whatever you have to give up, make sure you're giving up something that's important to you, not something that's important to a loved one. So what this means, if it comes down to a binary choice, have that dinner with your mom on Tuesday and give up the drinks with the guys on Wednesday. I'm John Gilstrap. Take care of yourselves. Keep reading. I'll see you.